Limit as x goes to 4 of x over x minus 2 minus 10 over x plus 1, the entire thing divided by x squared minus 4x. The first thing we're going to do is try plugging a 4 in for each of the x's. In the numerator, that's 4 over 4 minus 2, and then minus 10 over 4 plus 1. In the denominator, that's going to be 4 squared minus 4 times 4. In the numerator, 4 divided by 4 minus 2, which is a 2, minus 10 over 4 plus 1, which is a 5, and then that entire thing divided by 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times 4, which is also 16. In the numerator, 4 divided by 2 is a 2, 10 divided by 5 is also a 2. So we have 2 minus 2, which is 0, over 16 minus 16, which is also a 0. We have the 0 over 0 indeterminate form here. We will need to rework this. Since we have fractions specifically in the numerator, the method will be the common denominator method. We need the common denominator between x minus 2 and x plus 1. Common denominators are always produced by multiplication, never by addition or subtraction. So the only way to make the common denominator here will be x minus 2 times x plus 1. So that's our next step, is to make the common denominator between those. So limit as x goes to 4 of x over x minus 2. We're going to multiply that by x plus 1 over x plus 1. And then minus 10 over x plus 1, we're going to multiply that by x minus 2 over x minus 2. And then we'll have that entire thing over x squared minus 4x. We're not going to do anything with that just yet, since it is not a fraction. So limit as x goes to 4. Here we're going to distribute the numerator. That x is going to distribute with that x plus 1, so that will be x squared plus x over the common denominator of x minus 2, x plus 1, minus, and then we'll distribute the 10. It will be 10x minus 20 over the common denominator of x minus 2, x plus 1. And then this entire thing is divided by x squared minus 4x. We can now combine those two fractions together. That will give us limit as x goes to 4 of x squared plus x. We're going to distribute that minus sign. That minus goes on to both of these terms here. Be careful with that. It will affect both of them, so both of their signs will change. It will be a minus 10x and then a plus 20. All of this over x minus 2, x plus 1, and then the entire thing divided by x squared minus 4x. The next thing to do is combine together any like terms of the two fractions we combine. We have that x minus that 10x. We will be able to combine those. That's going to give us x squared minus 9x plus 20 divided by x minus 2 and x plus 1, and that entire thing divided by x squared minus 4x, which I'm now going to put that over a 1 so that we can reciprocate the denominator fraction and multiply it with the numerator fraction. Limit as x goes to 4 of x squared minus 9x plus 20 over x minus 2, x plus 1. That's all the numerator. Reciprocate the denominator, so 1 over x squared minus 4x. And we can multiply these together now. Limit as x goes to 4 of x squared minus 9x plus 20 over x minus 2, x plus 1, and x squared minus 4x. Now all that work did not change anything with the 0 over 0 indeterminate form. We will still have it. All of that work, just put it into a form that can now be used to try to cancel the factors. It's actually power functions, and we're going to try to factor and cancel. Since x is going to 4, I would expect an x minus 4 factor in the numerator and denominator, and I don't see one in either just yet. The numerator needs to factor by a trinomial factorization on that. The denominator needs to factor right here with a common factor of x. And at that point, we should be seeing the x minus 4 factor that we will be able to cancel. So the common denominator changed us into a power function type of problem. So we need a trinomial factor the numerator. We need two numbers that multiply to be positive 20 and add to be a negative 9. They need to both be negative. It sounds like negative 5 and negative 4 will fit that. And there's the x minus 4 in the numerator, as expected. In the denominator, we have x minus 2, x plus 1, and we have a common factor of x that we can factor out, leaving an x minus 4. There's the x minus 4s that are making the 0 over 0. They can now cancel, so we will cancel those out, leaving us with limit as x goes to 4 of x minus 5 over x minus 2, x plus 1, and x. And we can now plug the x in. That will give us 4 minus 5 over 4 minus 2 times 4 plus 1 times a 4. In the numerator, 4 minus 5 is a negative 1. In the denominator, 4 minus 2 is a 2. 4 plus 1 is a 5 times a 4. 2 times 5 is a 10. 10 times the 4 is a 40. We have a negative 1 over 40.